Congressman Paul.
Government destroys jobs, the market creates jobs. So the government isn't going to be expected to create the jobs. They have to change the environment. But you can't do that unless you understand where the depression, recessions come from. And you can't understand that unless you know where the bubbles come from. I've been arguing this case for 20 years and warning about bubbles and housing bubbles and NASDAQ bubbles, and a lot of other economists have been doing the same thing. Until we understand that, you can't solve the problem. You have to deal with the Federal Reserve System, you have to deal with free markets, and you have to deal with the tax program and the regulatory system. Then you can get your jobs, because the people will create the jobs, not the government.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Spellbinder's report for this week for the unfiltered news from the Reality Zone, compiled by G. Edgar Griffin. I decided to throw that in because, according to the Fox poll, Ron Paul won the debate last night. And I can see why if you watch the entire thing. He was the only one that has solutions. The others are trying to copy his solutions. They weren't the innovators. They were the copiers of it. Man. This is for the September 17th to the 23rd, 2011. And this week's comic strip is Loans. And this guy goes up to him and says, "I need to borrow just enough to get myself out of debt." Okay, now to the headlines. U.S. The Federal Reserve announces Operation Twist, a new $400 billion intervention in the bond market to stimulate the economy. The chairman of Morgan Stanley Asia says this scheme that failed in Japan in 1990s and won't work in this economy either. But it will cost taxpayers plenty. Bloomberg, September 23rd. Video, Ron Paul, video highlights from the Orlando GOP debate. Outstanding responses. Paul was given 4.5 minutes of airtime in a debate that lasted almost 2 hours. Ron Paul, September 23rd, Ron Paul 2011. In spite of being squeezed for time at the debate, Ron Paul won the Fox News online poll, so they removed the poll from their website. InfoWars, September 23rd. Africa. Armed troops burn down homes and evict Ugandans in the name of global warming. Those who resist are beaten. One child was burned to death. The land is taken to plant trees and sell carbon credits for Al Gore's pocket. I heard he got out of the carbon credit scam because he had so much flack coming at him. So he's starting to wake up that he's failed. He's got a big word called failed. The ugly truth about the global warming scam is becoming increasingly visible. InfoWars, September 23rd. California judge blasts U.S. Department of Interior scientists as deceitful zealots acting in bad faith. This came in a lawsuit over the DOI cutting irrigation water to farmers, supposedly to protect a minnow-like fish called the Delta smelt. New York Times, September 22nd. Mexico City thugs stop traffic and leave behind 2 trucks containing 35 bodies as violence ramps up in the failed war on drugs. Officials are now admitting a complete lack of governmentability. It is estimated that 400,000 people have been killed since 2006. MSNBC, September 22nd. U.S. This headline on YouTube News is a classic example of mainstream media manipulation of the news. A New Hampshire poll found Ron Paul in second place for the Republican presidential candidates. Now read the headline. Yahoo, September 21st. The E. coli superstrain that recently ravaged Europe appeared to have been made by humans. That's right. It is resistant to 8 different types of antibiotic and possesses DNA sequences that are completely unprecedented in nature. The question is, who would want to do this and why? I'll leave that to your own. I know. Reality Sandwich, September 21st. Obama welcomes the new Al-Qaeda-linked Libyan regime to the UN, promising to stand by them. Of course, that's his buddies. The war was supposed to last only a few days, but NATO has extended its occupation by another 3 months, which will bring the total to 9 months. Prison Planet, September 21st. Video. The U.S. Mint is producing literally billions of coins in honor of dead presidents, but no one wants them, so they are piling up in the warehouses, costing taxpayers over $600,000 per day. Yet they just keep coming, and there appears to be no way to stop the insanity. ABC News, September 21st. The prestigious Times Atlas of the World is caught fabricating images and information to sell the myth of global warming. It illustrates Greenland with 16% ice reduction, while satellite images show an entirely different picture. This book now is being used in schools to twist children's minds. Daily Mail, September 21st. U.S. charges are dropped against a man who faced life imprisonment for recording police. The court ruled that a law to protect citizens' privacy does not apply to public officials while on duty. It's about time they came to their senses. Infowars, September 21st. U.S. former Secretary of Defense Rumsfeld is stripped of immunity from prosecution for authorizing torture. High-ranking militaries are eager to testify against him. New internet photos from Abu Ghraib prison are speaking outrage against the Bush-era war crimes that extended far beyond waterboarding. Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld now refrain from travel to many countries for fear of arrest as war criminals. Alternate News, September 20th. U.S. OnStar Navigator tracks vehicle speed and locations even after the service is canceled. The company has the right to sell that information and share it with police. Don't be surprised if in the future you are ticketed for speeding by our onboard navigation unit. Wired, September 20th. California, recurring home Bible study is outlawed if it involves more than 3 people and does not have a conditional use permit from the local government. You know, the atheist antichrist government. One couple has been threatened with a $500 fine per meeting. KCOY, September 20th. Nigel Farage, leader of the UK Independence Party, speaks out against career politicians who have sold out their country. He calls for getting out of the European Union, and his party is rapidly gaining strength. Good job, Nigel. YouTube, September 20th. Obama administration is building secret drone bases off the Horn of Africa and the Arabian Peninsula in bid for full spectrum dominance. Washington Post, September 20th. U.S. FBI whistleblowers reveal tight-knit relationship between high-level officials in government and Mexican drug cartels, even to the extent of drug trafficking. The whistleblowers have been fired, and FBI memos have been issued to prevent investigation. That's because both sides are making money of the drug war. Can you smell the cesspool of political corruption? Activist Post, September 20th. A video. Extreme sheep herding with LED lights, no less. Click to be amazed. I've seen this video of it before. U.S. new organ harvesting guidelines are being considered that would allow surgeons to remove body parts while patients' hearts are still beating to increase the success of organ transplants. Critics say this could cause sick people to be treated as tissue banks. Daily Mail, September 20th. Remember that when you fill out your donor card on your license. Merck Gardasil HPV vaccine was discovered containing genetically engineered HPV DNA, and the FDA declined to investigate. However, Ireland and the EU's medical boards have agreed to do a risk assessment of the engineered virus because of concern over the possibility that they may cause cancer and other diseases. Sane Vax, September 19th. U.S. environmentalists and the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission will demolish another dam that produced hydroelectric energy. This is a growing trend. 241 have been obliterated between 2006 and 2010, despite the great need for clean and cheap hydroelectricity. Bangor Daily, September 19th. British Airways will be required to pay $75 million next year into the EU carbon trading scheme, or scam, to purchase permits to burn jet fuel. Other airlines also will be hit with hefty bills. The cost of airline travel will rise. Yahoo, September 19th. A video of Obama makes an amazing admission that his so-called green energy plan will cause energy prices to the consumer to skyrocket. That's because it's part of the destruction of America. But anyone with 2 brain cells could figure that out anyway. YouTube posted September 19th. U.S. federal funding for smart grid development will be cut in order to fund programs to reduce emissions at coal-generating plants. To those who understand that the smart grid includes technology to monitor and control consumers, the cut in funding is good news, but the additional funding for regulating coal generators is bad news. The hidden goal of federal regulators is to close down generating plants and cripple the nation to make people more politically compliant. AOL Energy, September 19th. Obama proposes a $1.5 trillion additional tax supposedly to create jobs. Republican presidential contenders respond that this tax will fall on small businesses and force them to reduce payroll. You don't create jobs by increasing taxes on job creators. Talk Radio News, September 19th. Some California schools are sending children home for not having the whooping cough vaccine. Parents, however, can file a form opposing vaccines and their children will be allowed to stay in school. Daily Mail, September 18th. They won't tell you that it's only a color of law. U.S. chart shows that the military overwhelmingly supports Ron Paul, the peace candidate, compared to other GOP candidates. Daily Paul, September 17th. Go Ron, go. U.S. 17 million football fans at NFL games will be groped. Enhanced pat-downs as they enter stadiums. Expect long delays to get into the game. Go early, like the airport, 2 hours early. Daily Mail, posted September 17th. Video. Patrick Wood explains that a concept called technocracy, dated back to the 1930s, is the original or the origin of the present carbon credit rationing scheme. It is to be a new type of economy based on energy instead of money, and this is what is planned for the new smart grid system. This is an extremely important topic. It will define your future. Vimo, posted September 22nd. Star Snake Oil for sale. Richard Michael, director of Project City Hall, analyzes 2 groups, one called the Republic for the United States of America and the other called Team Law, and finds their claims to be without foundation. This lays bare such notions as the U.S. and the USA are different, that the government is de facto but not de jure, that governments have been converted into corporations, that the Constitution bars lawyers from holding office, and similar baseless claims. Unfiltered News, September 19th. There will be oil. An oil expert debunks the peak oil myth, which became popularized through technocracy. WSJ, September 17th. Video. Has the tide finally turned against GMO crops? This video report from Haiti indicates that it has. YouTube Sizzler, September 13th. And that's the headline news for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. And enjoy this photo. Great photos of these little ducklings on the log with their mother. It's pretty interesting. Until next time, this is Spellbinder saying, be good at it, and keep your eye on the government, for they're trying to take away everything that you ever owned and ever will own. This is the headline news. for September 17th through the 23rd. Good day.